Hey guys, welcome to day 11, Understanding SQL Functions. So some of the operations are quite common, like for example concatenation, upper, lower. So these are some of the operations, string operation, which are quite common in many languages. For example, C, C++, and different languages, Java, Scala. There are a lot of inbuilt functions which are present. So these inbuilt functions help you to very easily manipulate the data because these are the known behavior and known things that we do. Similarly, in case of SQL, there are certain operations that we always perform. So for example, concatenation of two columns, we do a lot, upper, lower. So these kind of things we do a lot. So for them, there are certain inbuilt functions which are provided by Spark SQL itself. And those functions uh, can be used in the lakehouse. So let's start with that. So they are available directly out of the box. And what we can simply do is we can use them. The first function, the simplest form, is concatenation. We may want to concatenate two columns, right? So what we simply do is select first name and then we add a space there and then last name. And what we can simply say is a full name. And then we run this on the employees table. What we get out of it is uh, select star from first name. So first name is there. There is one space in between that we have provided. And finally, the last name is being added. So this way, a full name concatenation is being done. The second set of function that is available is called trim. In trim, what we simply do is we can trim the spaces, trim the spaces from both the sides of the column. So let's say sometime the data is inserted and that has a lot of spaces in it, maybe leading and trailing spaces. Then while doing comparison, it may affect a lot. So this type of function we definitely use in clean layer of your medallion architecture. So let's say if you have a medallion architecture where you start with like bronze, silver, and gold, then when you are dealing with the bronze layer, you do simply trim that removes the leading and trailing spaces from the columns. Like select trim first name as clean first name. So this way you can simply trim the leading and trailing spaces. On the similar line, as I mentioned, there are certain function called upper and lower. So that this is very important function. What we can simply do is we can just do select upper and then we pass the column name and then we run it on the table department. What it simply does is it is going to convert all the department name and it is going to make them as an uppercase. These functions are very important, guys, because whenever we do a comparison or whenever we are checking some conditions uh, while inserting the data and all, so these play a very important role. You should always maintain case consistency in your data pipeline. So whenever you are designing any data pipeline, like uh, whenever you are in a medallion architecture, whenever you transform from bronze to silver, then at that time you should make it a case consistent across the columns. That will help you because you do a lot of comparison and all in the gold layer. Therefore, keep making it case consistent is very important. We can There are a lot of functions, n number of functions are there. I'm just telling the simple ones. What you see is another type of function called length, where you can get the length of a column. So for example, a column has a value called Alice and it has length 5, so you can see the 5 as a value. Then there is a function called substring you can do. What you can do is you can pass the column. This is very important thing because sometimes when you receive the data, you may not want the complete data in that column. You may want a certain part of it. So these type of function are very much useful in this. So just to give you an example, we may receive a text of at least 4 to 5 lines or sometimes right in a column, but we may just want the first 4 characters because they might represent some business value. Then in that case, what you could simply do is you should pass the column name and then you say that okay, take the first 4. So this is indexed from 1, so 1 to 3 will pull the first 3 characters. If we want 4, we can pull the 4 characters. So what we can simply do is we will simply do like that, and it is going to create a substring of 4. So now the column which has 4 a length of more than 4 will be truncated to 4, and you'll get ALIC like that. We can combine multiple functions. So this type of structure we'll see many times where we may want to run the hierarchy on the column. So let's say there is a column called first name. So we are doing trim first. Trim is going to remove the leading and trailing spaces, and then we are going to do concat, which is going to concat the two columns, and then we are also doing upper on top of it. So that is going to create something like this. So we can say trim, concatenation is done, and then everything is translated to upper. So these are like Spark SQL functions. These are just very simple ones I have shown. There are n number of functions that are available out of the box as a Spark operation for string operation. We tend to use it many times. We just may not realize sometimes that we have used it, but they are very important ones. Thank you guys for listening into this. This was day 11 Spark SQL function. On day 12, we are going to understand the SQL date function that is available. Thank you. Thanks.